Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to the live adibiip Group Innovators Q&A with Amir and Victoria, bringing you guys awesome content every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. We took a 2-week break from the show, but now we are back on full steam ahead, bringing you guys interesting, useful content every single day of the week on intellectual property, covering patents, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, anything involving intellectual property. We want to give you guys useful information on. So we've been doing a ton of deep dives, creating a lot of how-to videos, start to finish, how to file trademark applications. We're going to have more and more awesome content coming your way. Before we get into today's show, I just want to remind everybody, this is episode number 96, episode 96. So we've been going on super strong. If you guys have specific questions you guys want us to cover on the show, shoot us an email. You can reach us at victoria@adibiip.com. Just send Victoria your question. We'll get it answered on the show. Otherwise, shoot me a text at 415-943-5193, 415-943-5193. This number will give you direct access to me. You can send me your question, and I will try to get it answered on the show. Also, if you guys want to be interviewed on the show or if you want to be on it, just send us a text. We'll try to get you on the show. So we want to have more interviews, hopefully, coming up for you guys. So that's one of the long-term objectives for the show. So because it's been a while since we did our last show, I think let's just skip what we did on episode 95. It's been a hot minute. Let's just jump in. I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving break. And thanks so much for watching. And let's just dive right in. So today we're covering Tag Heuer. So I'll let Victoria kick off the question.
Sure. So today the question is, how does Tag Heuer, I don't know how to pronounce it, protect their lunch?
Isn't it French?
Watches? I don't think so.
It's a Swiss watch company. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Is that a French, the Heuer? I just say Heuer.
Oh, that's not French. It must be German or something.
Oh, German. Okay. Very interesting. All right.
So how do they protect their watches?
Awesome. All right. Let's dive right in. So as always, we're going to try to show you guys how to do this. And you can apply these principles in other companies that you're also interested in exploring their trademarks on. So I'm going to go ahead and add to the stream. I already went to tsdr.uspto.gov, but for those of you guys that are following along, I'm just going to start from the very top. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to tsdr.uspto.gov, and then you're going to want to click on search trademarks. And once you're in search trademarks, you're going to want to do a word search. And you're going to want to search by owner. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, and by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, let me just do a quick search on Tag Heuer, just so you guys can see what we're dealing with. So this right here is Tag Heuer. They sell luxury watches. That's just probably what they're most famous for. They obviously have other products as well, but watches is what they're known for. So let's go ahead and take a look at what trademarks they have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy their name, which is tricky for us to pronounce and tricky to spell. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for the company name. And we're going to select owner name and address. And again, you guys can do this at home for any company that you're interested in. It's pretty cool. Remember, this is all public records, public information. Okay, so we can see here we have about 30. Some of these marks are dead. Let's take a look at the very first one. So this looks like probably the original. It was filed in 1966, so quite old. They filed in the US, because it's Section 1A filing, and it was registered in 1967. So fairly old brand. And as you can see here, it's a Swiss company, later changed its name, changed ownership. But this is the original mark. And again, this mark is actually dead. It expired. I believe it's because they added the tag. And again, we're not going to see a whole lot in terms of records because this is such an old mark. Kind of cool though to see what it looked like back in the day. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see though, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at some of the other marks that they have. A lot of these, for you watch enthusiasts, you'll actually probably recognize some of these names. Like this is the Formula One. It's a famous chronograph that they sell. Again, this is covering watches under class 14. If I had to guess, I would say probably all of these marks involve class 14, maybe with a couple of exceptions. Let's see if we can see. This is a really old mark, relatively. I mean, 1986 is the filing date. So one of the problems with such old marks is that you're going to have a hard time seeing specimens. But That's not entirely true because they continually renew it. So one of the cool things about trademarks is that as long as you continually use them and as long as you continually file renewal paperwork, your mark is going to remain active and live. So pretty cool thing. And again, this is right here, Formula One right here on the side. You see that's the mark that's clearly displayed on the goods. So let's keep checking out the marks, see what else we can find. So this is, okay, now this is our core mark. So this is the mark that you're going to see on their website, as you can see here, and on their products. So, and again, this is covering, time measuring instruments. Interesting, under class 9, and then also clocks and watches under class 14. So, okay, this is actually really interesting. So it's not just class 14, but it's also class 9. And the reason why they're going under class 9 is because these are timepieces that are used for keeping time in professional settings, right? So as you can see, time measuring instruments, it's not just a watch, it's a time measuring instrument. So they're probably using this in professional sporting events. And so that's why they also cover their brand under class 9. So that's interesting. And again, they also have some apparel marks. So for example, t-shirts, polo shirts, sweaters under class 25. Actually, just out of interest, I think it'd actually be cool to see what specimen they submitted for class 9. Let's see if we can gather that information just by looking at what specimens they submitted. So again, this was submitted in 2018. Looks like they submitted six pages. Let's see. So I am having issues scrolling over for you. Here we go. Okay. So, here we go, right here. So sports timing equipment, right? So this is obviously a very high-end instrument that's used for, it looks like for winter sports. So in these sports, obviously every millisecond counts, can mean the difference between winning a gold and not. So it would make sense that they would want to have these special high-end timing instruments for such events. So again, kind of interesting. So not just class 14, but we're also going to see items under class 9. So let's see if we can check out for other specimens they submitted. What is this? Oh, this looks like apparel. So this looks like clothing. Okay, so there you go. There's the mark right there. There's a label, mark clearly appearing on the goods. And then also, let's see if we can find another watch. Let's see what this is. Here we go. So this is the Calibre 5, common watch. For you watch enthusiasts, you'll know about this watch. Here you go. So there it is. Oh, and actually, this is interesting because they actually identify where the mark actually shows up. So as you can see, it's right above the dial on the facepiece. So that's the core mark. That's the core Tag Heuer mark. And I think a lot of what we're going to see now. So some of these are dead. Again, this mark is dead here. Professional sports watches, Tag Heuer. So this one's dead. This one's under class 28. So this is covering baseball gloves, golf gloves. It looks like they probably stopped that brand. What's interesting about marks is that as the company phases out products, what they do is they don't always maintain the pendency of all their brand names. So sometimes they fall out. So for example, this is another example. So class 3, so pre-shave, aftershave lotions, toilet soaps. This was canceled. Again, same with leather goods, sporting bags, backpacks. These have also been canceled. I have not heard of this brand, but it looks like this is also for chronographs. Okay, also abandoned. Leonidas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so you watch enthusiasts hopefully won't get on my case. So this is the C Racer. So this is covering horological instruments and chronometrical instruments. Again, fancy way of saying watches, wristwatches. And again, if you're interested, you can click on TSDR and actually go into it and see what specimens they submitted. Good way to learn, really good way to learn, is to see how other companies have submitted their specimens to actually establish use in commerce. So this is a very famous watch, the C Racer. A lot of watch enthusiasts know all about the C Racer. And again, the mark, it looks like it was originally filed for in 1997. So not as old as the 60s one, but it's up there. Curium, this is class 14 also, wristwatches, also owned by Tag Heuer. And then if we go into it, you can actually also see the specimen that was submitted. Again, this was filed in 97. Here it is, curium right there. Let's take a look, see what other marks we can find. Okay, so this mark is live, it looks like. This one was filed for in 99, registered in 03. This is the alter ego. Looks like they renewed it in 13. Let's take a look at this. Not as familiar with this particular brand. Let's see if we can see what other specimens were submitted. Okay. Having a hard time finding where. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Tag Heuer alter ego. So there you go. Again, we have some more Tag Heuer marks. Right here is covering class 9 items. Oh, interesting. A bunch of these were also canceled. So pens, stationery under class 16. Oh, looks like they even made games. They also had. Oh, looks like. Oh, wow. They had electronic mail and paging services. Interesting. And oh, an instruction in automobile racing. Looks like this is still alive, not canceled. But these upper three were canceled. So actually, I'm also zoomed in kind of far out. Sorry, guys. Is that better, Victoria? Okay, thanks. Sorry, guys. Let's go see what other. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is also another word mark, again, covering clocks and watches under class 14. Tag Heuer link, again, class 14. Again, I suspect most of these are going to be 14. As we saw, some of them are also class 9, which is kind of interesting. Oh, okay, so these are leather goods under class 18. Targa Florio. So this is interesting. English translation of Targa is auto license plate. All right. And it's covering watches under class 14. Let's take a look at their specimens. Kind of interesting to see what they submitted and when it was filed. Let's see if we can pull it up. A bit of delay here. Not sure why. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. So here's a specimen. This was submitted in 2012. Oh, okay, so here's the back of the watch. Okay, so it's interesting because a lot of the marks that we've seen so far, the specimen actually had it on the packaging, on the website, or on the face. But this one has it shown on the back of the watch, in the back of the case. Here you see Targa Florio right in the back. See what other marks we can find. Okay, physics. Also, okay, sunglasses. Again, this was canceled. So this one was not maintained. Adavia. This looks like this was also maintained. Filed for in 2002. Again, if you guys are interested, we can check out the specimens. This one was filed in 2013. Oh, okay, here we go, right here. So nice on the face of the watch. You can see it very clearly right here, Adavia. Let's take a look at what other mark. Okay, so this is a micro split. I'm guessing this is class 9, given the fact that it implies. Oh, okay, 14. All right, so watches. Interesting. Okay. What's also interesting about doing this research is that sometimes you discover brands that you may not have known about. Okay, so this is a timing solution. So I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't file this under class 9 because as you guys saw in earlier marks, for the high-end precision timing instruments, you saw that they also filed under class 9. So it's kind of interesting that they chose to file this under class 14. But yeah, as I explained before, a lot of Tag's products are also used in really, really high-end performance sports where timing is everything. And so they rely on their precision instruments. Multigraph, this one was canceled. Aquagraph, again, looks like watches under class 14. Let's see if we can see what specimens were submitted. This specimen was submitted in 2014. Let's take a look at this. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is actually a receipt, or not a receipt, but a SKU. So it's got the label, the tag, and the price. So kind of interesting. So we haven't seen this before yet, at least in the marks that we've looked at. It looks like there's probably, see if I can scroll over here. Let's see if I can find additional. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all I could find. Okay. Let's take a look, see what other marks we can find of interest here. Oh, looks like we're almost through actually. So a few left. So this Tag Heuer is canceled. Looks like this is class 3. So soaps, perfumes, oils, fragrances. And then the Mansa, Tag Heuer Mansa 14, also canceled. So no longer being used. And then there's the micrograph, which we looked at before. And this is class 14. And then back to the Heuer, just the plain word mark Heuer, optical goods related basically to glasses. And this is 07, so a little older. And then this Heuer, also word, is going to cover your leather goods. And then clothing, also under class 25. And this was filed for in 2005. The microtimer. Okay, so class 9, so time measuring control instruments. Interestingly, this was canceled, and they've only maintained their timepieces and chronographs on watches under 14. So interesting. Another interesting thing is if you'll notice the change in ownership. So LVMH, Swiss manufacturers, so its last owner. If I had to guess, probably this was a result possibly of a purchase, maybe. So kind of interesting. Microtimer Tag Heuer. Aqua Racer, another very, very famous brand by Tag Heuer. A lot of watch enthusiasts are, I'm sure, very familiar with this. Again, this is filed in outside the U.S. first. We know that because it says 66A. So filed foreign and then went into the U.S. This is the V4, also foreign filed initially. And again, this is covering jewelry and also watches. And then Diamond Fiction. This is dead. So this is not maintained. Also an LVMH original lead listed owner. And Vanquish. Also both canceled. So pretty interesting. Just for the sake of research, let's just take a look, see what other interesting things that we can find. Okay. Looks like LVMH owns a lot of these high-end brands. Huh. Interesting. Maybe we can do some research on them in future content. So that's Tag Heuer. We just looked at all 30 of their marks. I hope you guys found this useful. We looked at both their live and their dead marks. Just out of curiosity, I also did a search for patents to see if they had any design patents, and they didn't have any. But I think we're going to do a lot of follow-up episodes on watches because obviously a lot of resources get spent on watches. There's a lot of watch enthusiasts out there, and watches companies have very clever ways of protecting their IP. And what we're going to see in upcoming content is that they don't only rely on trademarks; they also file for design patents and patents actually, because the instruments themselves, a lot of them have very, very complicated technology. And so, yeah, I think we'll see a lot of really awesome content around watches, in addition to a lot of other content coming up. Very cool. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And if you guys have specific questions, shoot them my way, victoria@adibiip.com. Send me your questions, or text us at 415-943-5193, 415-943-5193. Would love to have you in our text community. If you text this number, you'll get direct access to me. You can send me your questions, and I'll try to get them answered on the show, or even get you guys on the show if you guys are interested. All right. Thank you so much.